Hey, what's going on, guys? Gamerdude back once again with another episode in our Just a Fact series. So, for the last couple of weeks, we have talked about nothing but remasters and remakes. So, this week, I thought I would bring you some news regarding the next generation of hardware, which is slowly worming its way into existence. Having learned the PS5 will now come out next year, later than expected, we can expect more teasers and leaks. We've also seen a rather ridiculous and ugly looking dev kit revealed for the PS4, so we can only hope that the design changes later on. But we could also possibly see a sneak preview at E3 next year, providing Sony don't pull out again. But if that's the case, they will probably show it off at their own game show, like they did this year. So with that being said, let's get on with what I've discovered regarding the PlayStation 5. So, my fellow PlayStation users, rejoice! It does appear that we will be able to play the games we currently own now on the PlayStation 5, from physical copies to digital downloads once it arrives. Yes, that's right, it's actually going to support backwards compatibility. But just how far back are we talking? If I were you, I would take this news with a grain of salt. For all you disc collectors out there, I mean, I'm certainly a disc collector, we shouldn't chuck the PS4 games out when we eventually come to grab the new console, which will be out just in time for Christmas 2020. No doubt most of the games will probably receive a remaster or a remake anyway, but nonetheless, it's awesome that we will still be able to play our older games and not shove them in a dark and dusty box for the entirety of the next gen's life. As to whether or not the same will apply to Xbox Scarlet, nobody knows because Microsoft really haven't teased or released that much information regarding their next project, which is supposed to release around about the same time as the PS5. Strange that, because originally the PS5 was supposed to release before the Xbox, and now it seems like Sony have decided that it's probably a good idea to have them both release at the same time, or Sony have realised, shit, we jumped the gun a little bit, it's not going to be ready. And they're just, right, fuck it, Christmas, you know, we'll probably make a shit ton of money, we'll do it Christmas. But anyway, you might be wondering why, or how, after numerous rumours that it would all be digital only. Well, it's because, and this is without me getting too technical, the new machine is based on pretty much the same tech as the PS4. So it's basically just a PS4 Pro then. You know, it's a Pro. It's like the same system, but it's a Pro. If that makes any sense. So, Mark Cerny, one of the video game geniuses responsible for bringing us into the new generation of consoles, recently spoke to Wired and confirmed not only that the machine would be called the PS5 officially, but also that it will support PS4 games, which is great news. But he didn't state if it would support any other generation. It is highly likely that it won't, if it's based on the same specs as the PS4. It does just all depend if they can get a laser sophisticated enough to play and support previous gen games. Because it is highly difficult for a system with so much tech in it to have something that will play games from every previous system. That is why the PS4 didn't support backwards compatibility. Sorry, get my words out there. Because it just didn't have enough room. There wasn't enough room in the system to support that data. And I think it's because the hard drive wasn't big enough, or the CPU or something. I don't know. Anyway, Mark also stated in an interview, because the PS5 is based in part on the PS4's architecture, it will also be backwards compatible with games for that console. So for those of you who still hang on to outdated things like actual physical games, don't worry about that either. So hang on, wait. Hang on just a minute. Let's take a step back there. He's saying that physical games are outdated? Nothing is ever outdated. Just because the digital generation is taking over doesn't mean that physical copies are outdated. That's like saying DVDs and CDs are outdated. Or even clocks, because we have mobile phones and there's clocks on the phones. But so far, Sony hasn't actually commented on whether or not we'll be able to do it. However, if you're willing to look for it, there were some interesting facts stashed away in a patent application from 2018 suggesting that the older games could be remastered by emulation, which would mean digital download, unfortunately. But to be honest, I am really sick to death of remasters. While it is great to play older games digitally enhanced in full 4K, I'm sick to death of having two different versions of the same game. Just make another in the series. You know, I do get it. I get it. Most people love replaying games of old on new consoles. But it's becoming too much of a trend now. It's all devs seem to be putting their time and effort into doing. Just remastering and remaking classics. I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it now and again. But it's happening all the time now. I mean, no doubt on the PS5, Red Dead Redemption 2 will get a remaster. Or possibly even Grand Theft Auto 5 again. So that would mean there'd be 3 different versions of Grand Theft Auto on the previous, from PlayStation 3 to PS4 to PS5. Give us a new one. Give us something new. Stop remastering them. Because for the last few weeks, all we've done is talk remasters. And that is literally all the news I could find in the last couple of weeks. Just devs remastering everything. Stop doing it. Make something new. You know? Anyway, although it is all a bit vague, there is still hope for us all who still want to play a classic like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on our massive HD TVs, remastered or blowing off dust from our old physical copies. While the new system is loosely based on the old PS4 model, there are going to be some new big features with this machine, which will be in direct competition with Microsoft's next-gen console, Xbox Scarlet. But that is really all we know about it. But I really think that Microsoft need to pull something out of their ass for the Xbox and release some details about the console. Now, you guys know, I'm not an Xbox fan, but I'm not one to tell you which console to choose. But if Microsoft does keep up with the silence, then many people are going to start jumping on PlayStation's bandwagon. I mean, if you want to jump on PlayStation's bandwagon, because no doubt there's going to be a sequel to Spider-Man PS4, and it will be on the PlayStation 5. So, you know, if you want to play Spider-Man, well, Spider-Man 2, you're going to have to get a PS5. Just saying. Just saying. But Sony have also recently shared information about the new controller for the PS5. Again, more than what Xbox has been doing. And to be quite honest, and quite frankly, it sounds absolutely brilliant. It will feature both haptic feedback, whatever the hell that is, which will be replacing the standard rumble feature. It will also have adaptive triggers. So, say if you're pulling back on a bowstring in The Last of Us, the triggers will tense up and make it harder to draw the bow. The new rumble system is replaced by adaptive hand controls, which adapt to the terrain that you are currently on. So, say if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, and you're driving one side on tarmac and one side on gravel. Each side of the controller will feel like the surface you are on, which is quite techy if you ask me. You know, that is a lot of tech to have in one controller. I can only imagine this controller is going to be massive. And I mean, in terms of grip, the PS4 controller, it's light, it's easy to move around. But this new one sounds like it's going to be big and bulky. Maybe with the same design, but just a lot bigger. I mean, I don't want to have to hold a controller that's the same size as the width of my legs, you know? But nonetheless, it sounds like a brilliant design, and I can't wait to have a test of it myself. PlayStation President Jim Ryan said, "With haptics, you truly feel a broader range of feedback. So crashing into a wall in a race car feels much different than making a tackle on the football field." So what that tells me is that if you crash into a wall, the controller might tense up, it might feel more solid, because, you know, the PS4 controller is, like I said, it's lightweight, it's small, but it is really flimsy. Like, if you crash into something and you're holding your controller too tightly because you're like, you know, you're like, why? You might end up snapping it. It depends on how strong you are, but you could still end up snapping it either way. It sounds like with this new controller, if you're holding it really tightly and you crash into the wall, you are going to feel it in your wrists. You know, you're going to feel like the pressure push back from the controller in your wrists, which again is really advanced and really tech based for a controller. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be the most advanced controller ever created, and I seriously really cannot wait to have a play with it myself. I mean, I'll probably wait to get a PS5 for about a year just to see what games get released for it, because I don't want to have to buy a PS5 or get a PS5 for the Christmas that year and then find out the only games that are available to it are the games that you've already got on PS4 because they haven't bothered to release any. So you see where I'm going with that. I would make the same suggestion to everybody else. Wait a little while before you get one, because even if there is one or two or a couple of games released for the PS5, they will most likely be remasters, remakes, or sequels to games that we've already got. So I would wait a little while before you actually pick one up. He also says you can even get a sense for a variety of textures when running through fields of grass or plodding through mud. You know, I really hope that doesn't mean the pad will feel soggy. That would just feel like holding a bag of dog turd in your hands, really. You know, it will feel really fucking grim. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for the next generation of consoles? Do you think it's too soon? Do you think they're rushing into things? Do you think it's actually not going to come out next year, it won't be ready, it'll be postponed until the year after? Or do you think it's great that the next generation's coming, that we need a new generation, and that the PS4 should be dead and buried before its time? Because I really do feel like the PlayStation 4 is still a baby. You know, it's still Sony's baby. They can still make so much from the PS4. I mean, it was, 10, 11 years before the PS3 was finally dead and buried, before they started shutting down all the servers for the games and whatnot. So it is really sad to think that fairly soon that could be happening to the PS4. You know, all the games that we know and love on the PS4, they could start shutting them down. And it's a bad case of, well, I loved that. You know, it's the same with the PS3 when the Uncharted 3 servers went down, when the Last of Us servers went down. Everybody loved playing Uncharted 3 on the PS3. Everybody loved The Last of Us as well. And you know, they're gone, never to be played again. And the remastered versions on the PS4 don't have the online play, which is really unfortunate. But anyway, that is it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope I've expanded your gaming knowledge and given you an inside look into the next generation. So for now, we are going to be taking Sundays off, as well as my usual Tuesdays. You guys know why. I'm not going to go into detail again about it. So anyway, shout out to all subscribers, old and new. We are now at 981, getting ever so close to that 1k milestone. We are only 19 away, and it is an absolutely amazing achievement, and I can't thank you all enough for the continuous support and views of my content. If you are new to the channel and enjoyed this video or any of my other content, make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe. I always sub back to new subscribers, and I do try to view any content you are producing. So that being said, this has been Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.